A shantytown, a squatter area, is a settlement of improvised housing, called shanties or shacks, made of plywood, corrugated metal, sheets of plastic, and cardboard boxes. Such settlements are usually found on the periphery of cities, in public parks, or near railroad tracks, rivers, lagoons, or city trash dump sites. Sometimes called a squatter, informal, a spontaneous settlement. A typical shantytown often lacks proper sanitation, safe water supply, electricity, hygienic streets, or other basic human necessities. Shantytowns are mostly found in developing nations, but also in some parts of developed nations. Etymology: shanty is probably from Canadian French chantier, a winter station established for the organization of lumberjacks. Another possible derivation is from the Irish language shanty, meaning old house. Hutment means an encampment of huts. When the term is used by the military, it means temporary living quarters specially built by the army for soldiers. The term is also a synonym for shantytown, particularly in developing countries. Features: since construction is informal and unguided by urban planning, there is typically no formal street grid, house numbers, or named streets. Such settlements also lack some or all basic public services such as a sewage network, electricity, safe running water, rainwater drainage, garbage removal, access to public transport, or insect and disease control services. Even if these resources are present, they are likely to be disorganized, unreliable, and poorly maintained. Shantytowns also tend to lack basic services present in more formally organized settlements, including policing, mail delivery, medical services, and firefighting. Fires are a particular danger for shantytowns, not only for the lack of firefighting stations and the difficulty fire trucks have traversing the settlement in the absence of formal street grids, but also because of the high density of buildings and flammability of materials used in construction. A sweeping fire on the hills of Shek Kip Mare, Hong Kong, in late 1953 left 53,000 dwellers homeless, prompting the colonial government to institute a resettlement estate system. Shantytowns have high rates of crime, suicide, drug use, and disease. However, Swiss journalist Georg Gerster has noted that squatter settlements, despite their unattractive building materials, may also be places of hope, scenes of a counterculture, with an encouraging potential for change and a strong upward impetus. Stuart Brand has also written, more recently, that squatter cities are green. They have maximum density, 1 million people per square mile in Mumbai, and minimum energy and material use. People get around by foot, bicycle, rickshaw, or the universal shared taxi. Not everything is efficient in the slums, though. In the Brazilian favelas, where electricity is stolen and therefore free, Jan Ship Chase from Nokia found that people leave the lights on all day. In most slums, recycling is literally a way of life. Quote, examples: developing countries. Shantytowns are present in a number of countries. The largest shantytown in Asia is Orangi in Karachi, Pakistan. In francophone countries, shantytowns are referred to as bidonvilles. Such countries include Tunisia and Haiti. Other countries with shantytowns include South Africa or Imajondolo, Kenya, the Philippines, Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, West Indies such as Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, and Peru. In Russia, shantytowns, called Truskoba, are present in smaller cities as well, in Chelyabinsk outside Moscow. There is also a major shantytown population in countries such as Bangladesh and the People's Republic of China. Developed countries. Although shantytowns are less common in developed countries, there are some cities that have them. While shantytowns are less common in Europe, The growing influx of immigrants have fueled shanty towns in cities commonly used as a point of entry into the EU, including Athens and Patras in Greece. In Madrid, Spain, a low-class neighborhood named Canada Real has no formal education system, professional nurseries or modern health clinics, and is considered the largest slum in Europe. In Portugal, shanty towns known as barracas or barrios de lata are made up of immigrants from former Portuguese African colonies and Roma from Eastern Europe. Most of them are located in Lisbon metropolitan area. In the United States, some cities such as Newark and Oakland have witnessed the creation of tent cities. Other settlements in developed countries that are comparable to shanty towns include the colonias near the border with Mexico, and bidonvilles in France, which may exist in the peripheries of some cities. In some cases, shanty towns can persist in gentrified areas that local governments have yet to redevelop, or in regions of political dispute. Examples of this include Ras Kamis in Israel and the Kowloon walled city in Hong Kong. Development. While most shanty towns begin as precarious establishments haphazardly thrown together without basic social and civil services, over time, some have undergone a certain amount of development. Often the residents themselves are responsible for the major improvements. Community organizations, sometimes working alongside NGOs, private companies, and the government, set up connections to the municipal water supply, pave roads, and build local schools. Some of these shanties have become middle-class suburbs. One such extreme example is the Los Olivos neighborhood of Lima, Peru. The Megaplaza shopping mall, one of Lima's largest, along with gated communities, casinos, and even plastic surgery clinics, are just a few of many developments that have transformed what used to be a decrepit shanty. A few Brazilian favelas have also seen improvements in recent years, enough so to attract tourists who flock to catch a glimpse of the colorful lifestyle perched atop Rio de Janeiro's highlands. Development occurs over a long period of time and newer towns still lack basic services. Nevertheless, there has been a general trend whereby shanties undergo gradual improvements, rather than relocation to even more distant parts of a metropolis and replacement by gated communities constructed over the ruins. Many shanty towns are starting to implement the use of composting toilets and solar panels, and many of the people living in slums may have access to cell phones and even the internet. However, in spite of all this, inequality associated with shanty towns has only increased over time. Regional names: Asentamientos in Guatemala, Barricopoli in Italy, Barrios Invasion in Colombia, bidonvilles in France, Campamentos or Poblaciones Callampa in Chile, Cantagrales in Uruguay, Chabolas in Spain, colonias or migrant camps on the Mexico-United States border, favelas in Brazil, Gecekondu in Turkey, Ghetto in Panama, Ghetto in Puerto Rico, Hoovervilles in the United States, invasions in Ecuador, Carton City in Serbia, Legipon in Cuba, Malanbastia Zopatpati in India, Paragoupoli in Greece, Pueblos Jovenes or Barriadas in Peru, Putri in Hungary, Ranchos in Venezuela, Squatter Camp in South Africa, in Soviet Union and Russian Federation, tent cities and trailer parks in the United States, Tugurios or Precarios in Costa Rica, Villas Miseria are just villas in Argentina, Zona Marginal or Ciudad Perdida in Mexico, Al-Sakan al-Ashaway in Syria. Specific places: Cité Soleil, Ciudad Bolivar, Daravi, Joslovo, Karyelicha, Cabrera, Kaya Sands, Mayfair, Rocinha. See also List of favelas in Brazil. People and organizations: Abaulali Base Miondolo, Actor Hamid Khan, CEIFAR, Hernando de Soto, Marie Hutch Zamea, Mike Davis, Chinese New Village, Occupy Wall Street, Orangi Pilot Project, Slum Dwellers International, Slum Upgrading, the Suso Welfare in Australia originating in the Great Depression, United Nations Human Settlements Program, Western Cape Anti-Eviction Campaign, Related Concepts Dormitory, Favela, Flophouse, Ghetto, Hobo, Poverty in France, Refugee Shelter, Skid Row, Slumlord, Squatting, Tent City, Trailer Park, Urban Decay. In popular culture, the 1985 film Police Story starts off in a shanty town. The 1988 film They Live, the title character is taken to a shanty town at the beginning of the film, which is subsequently destroyed. The film Slumdog Millionaire centers around characters who spent most of their lives in Indian shanty towns. The South African film District 9 is largely set in a fictional Johannesburg township. The Brazilian film City of God and Tropiada Elite, and to a lesser extent its sequel, Elite Squad, The Enemy Within, are all largely set in favela shanty towns in Rio de Janeiro, as of the semi-autobiographical novels on which they are based. One of the alternate titles for Demented Death Farm Massacre is Shantytown Honeymoon. One of the areas in Resident Evil 5 is located in a shanty town. In Max Payne 3 most of the time took place in Nova Esperança, a favela in the city of São Paulo. One of the sections of the 2013 Tomb Raider video game is located in a shanty town, as part of the single-player campaign, and also in one of the multiplayer levels. Reggae singer Desmond Dekker sang a song called 007. Kibera Kid is an award-winning short film by Nathan Collett set in the Kibera slums of Nairobi, Kenya. White Elephant, 2012 Argentinian movie, is set in a villa Miseria in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Miracle in Milan is a 1951 Italian film told as a neo-realist fable of the lives of a poverty-stricken group in post-war Milan, Italy. One of the chapters of the Left 4 Dead 2 campaign, Swamp Fever, set in a Louisiana bayou village, is called the Shanty Town and takes place in a series of patchwork wooden buildings not uncommon for shanty towns.